What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how I finally passed the TSI. So the TSI basically stands for the Texas Success Initiative exam. Now keep in mind, I did take the Accuplacer exam like back in April of we're in 2018, right? 2018. So basically, I'm from New York, for those of you guys who don't know, and the Accuplacer was just basically an exam where they place you they place you to see which classes that you can take. It's basically the same thing as the TSI, but a New York version of it. So keep in mind, I did have that knowledge like way back in April. So basically, I'm going to be talking about how I passed the TSI after failing the math like 3 times, and I failed the reading 1 time, and I passed the writing on the first time. I'm going to give you my tips and basically what I feel would be best for people who haven't been to school for a way long time and how to pass the exam. So basically, I took the math, well, when I was taking the test, if you guys have been watching my vlogs, I was working, so I was extremely tired. I feel like that contributed to the reasons why I failed the math test. But in general, if y'all didn't know, I suck at math. I hate math. I don't even know why math was invented. I'm just kidding. I really don't like math, to be quite honest with you, and math was like horrible for me. And I was surprised I failed the reading, because that is one thing I'm really good at. I'm really good at reading and writing. That's my strong point. I mean, I've written screenplays, I've written stories, like that's my thing. Like, yeah, guys, so I took these exams and I failed. So I'm going to tell you guys how I studied. So how I studied, I just went on YouTube, which is what I did with the Accuplacer too, and I just searched TSI review, and I found the TSI, I just studied just for the math portion. That's the only portion I studied for. I put on YouTube TSI Math review, and I found one from Mometrics. And what I did, because I had that background knowledge, I just sat down and watched her. I didn't even write anything down, I didn't even take any notes. I just sat down and watched her. I watched her take a bunch of questions. I took the test and I failed, right? And I was like, ugh. So the second time I watched her again, and I started taking notes and started taking problems with her. And then I started taking notes with her. I took the test, failed again. The third time, I was like, oh no. During and before I took it the second time, I actually did like some problems. Like, I went on Google and I searched TSI math problem questions, and I found some problem questions, and I tried to do it, like, you know, those little free websites, and then I looked at the rationale of why I got it wrong, because, you know, math is not my strong subject. Anything I really didn't understand, I would just search, like, for example, like if it was like factoring polynomials or whatever, if I didn't really understand it, I would put that into YouTube real quick, watch somebody like teach it, and like try to get it, and then I would just do it. I just created my own, you know, study thing, and then I realized I got it more. And then once I started to like really review it and really took it seriously by going on YouTube and going on Google and searching random TSI math practice questions, I realized how much I didn't know, especially when I saw the rationale. I realized how much I forgot. So I think that's another important thing, is to be honest about what you forgot and what you didn't forget. And then when I took it the third time, finally, I took it the third time out of a whim, because when I took the reading, when I took the reading the second time, I passed, and that's because I slept and actually kept my eyes awake, peeled awake, and I said, you know what, I'm going to try to get every single question right, and I did it. And that's another thing I'm going to give you guys tips on, is when you're taking the reading, I know it's boring, but try to get at least the first 10 right, because I think if you get a certain amount right for the first 10 questions, then you don't have to go on and take the whole 48 questions. That's something I didn't know, because mine shut off at 10 questions and I just passed. I didn't have to take the full 48. I was like, thank God. But you have to take it right. Like, I don't know why, but I was falling asleep during the test. I was falling asleep, but thank God. I just forced myself to wake up. I took a little nap and I woke up and I was reading. It could be so boring. Like, compare those 2 paragraphs with this. I really took my time and I read it, and I took the test. But keep in mind, I am a good reader. And with the writing, of course, I'm very good with writing. I passed that with flying colors, and I finished that writing in 15 minutes. Like, I did 800 words, and that was it. But that's just because that's my skill. And with the math, for the third time, I finally passed. But my tips for that is that if you're somebody who haven't been to school for a long time, I would strongly recommend, because I said to myself, like, I was going to take the remedial classes because I was like, oh, I'm so tired, and because I was working a lot, I was getting angry, I'm not gonna lie. But I would strongly recommend buying I know I didn't buy the book, but I'm just saying that's what I would have done. Maybe buying the book and going through every single math YouTube video that you could go through that says TSI Math Success Initiative, and then when you fail the test, usually they give you which areas that you need to work on. Maybe Google that and work on that. And usually for the Texas Success, there are places in Texas, like the community colleges, that offer tutoring. I would take advantage of that. But I'm just mainly speaking to adults who really don't have time for that, because I didn't really have time to go to tutoring and this and that. I mean, you can make time, like anybody can make time, but I would say sometimes YouTube is the best teacher. I'm not saying all the time, but if you just go on YouTube and you search how to do this, how to do that, usually they will let you know, and follow the people who are doing questions. Like I saw not just Mometrics, but other people who were doing TSI practice Mometric questions. Do it from 2006, 2007, 2013, 14, 15. Do it so much that your brain gets used to doing math. That's how I passed the NCLEX PN the first time. On the first try, is because I kept practicing. I'm such an avid, I strongly urge you guys to like practice it as much as possible. For the reading, if you're somebody who's not good at reading, I know somebody close to me who's not good at reading, I would recommend just reading as much passages as possible. That's why I recommend everybody to read in general, not just Audible, but read, because that helps you with a lot of stuff and you could just pick up things quickly. Reading is just a skill of like, are you good? It's just a skill of practice, you know. So I would recommend definitely doing that. If you have like a serious reading problem, like some people have dyslexia, I would say definitely go to a tutor, get that done. And for the writing, I even saw on YouTube some people were teaching how to write an effective essay, and you know, they actually break it down, how to write an essay, this and that. So basically my all advice is, if you put it in a nutshell, is YouTube helped me pass, Google helped me pass. Okay, if you have to Google practice essay questions where they grade it, do that. Practice your writing. But the best advice I can give you to pass a TSI is to practice, and get as much sleep as possible. But when you're taking it, for the people who are tired like me, when you just come from work and you have to take a test, try your best to get the first 10 questions correct. Because I was being lazy. I was like, I don't care, I have 48 questions. But if you get the first 10, you will pass on your first try. Alright guys, so I hope this video helped you, because I felt like I had nobody to help me when I was taking the TSI. I saw nobody posted a video on how they passed the TSI. So I just wanted to give you that tip, that clue. So if you guys have any questions, don't forget to leave down in the comments down below, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!